Welcome to episode number 61 of the BEBC
BS
Podcast. Welcome to November, fellas. How was your Halloween? Did anybody have any trick-or-treaters?
No.
You never do, though.
No,
you live out in the boonies. And your driveway's scary. I wouldn't walk down your driveway.
I heard a few as they kept the lights off in the house.
So you played Scrooge at Halloween?
Oh, yeah, for the past 5 or 6 years, yes.
Oh, so it's not just a COVID thing.
No.
Cranky old man syndrome.
Grumpy old man syndrome at David's house. So, boys and girls, do not trick-or-treat at Mr. Holcomb's house. So, what about you? Did y'all have any?
I was gone.
You were gone, so you don't know if you had any or not. Did your kids go? Logan go?
I haven't even talked with Logan yet.
Oh. Okay. Well,
He's
there you have
socially
it.
distancing from his family.
I didn't have any out here either, so not a one.
Well, I wouldn't expect so. I mean, they're all doing trunk or treat, or they're,
Yeah, this year I think
Probably
everybody tries to
most
be
parents
safe.
of little kids are very
Yeah.
sensitive at the whole issue.
Man, I don't know. Some
It's
people,
almost like we're in a pandemic or something.
Something like that.
a pandemic? Is
Yeah.
there a pandemic?
Well, yeah,
going
you
on?
know, I was going to tell a joke about it, but 99.86% of you won't get it.
Won't
So,
get it.
you know,
Just wear that sign around your neck. I mean,
Hey.
that's, how many times have I heard that now?
Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Hey, but did you hear that
No.
because of all the steps that we're doing, the flu is reduced by
Non-existent.
90+%? It's
Non-existent.
non-existent.
Oh, right now?
Now
you mean?
it's still coming. Yeah, I mean so far.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we'll see. Just keep
Small steps.
doing it. Don't be like us and go unmasked. You know.
Hey, we are socially distant, so
Yeah.
See?
3 feet.
we got our. Well, get thee behind thee, Satan. Could it be Satan?
No, looks like you have something left over from Halloween around here.
Where's that? Oh,
The black cat.
there is a black cat roaming around here somewhere.
Where's my
Hey, and I
pellet
would be
gun?
willing to take a bullet for you if you've got some extra candy.
I don't have any candy.
Yeah.
Well, we had a game for the first time in like
Oh,
forever.
thank goodness.
When was this?
In 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It was 4 weeks between games.
Ridiculous.
Because the
Now we're not doing a forfeit. They're just like cancellation.
cancellations, because they were non-district games.
Two cancellations and a bye week.
Right.
So
Because the COVID bug reached out and grabbed somebody.
there was a slight bit of rustiness. That was.
With the fan base,
Wow.
too. I mean, there was a
Oh, no
lot less
kidding.
fans.
Oh yeah. Tell me about it.
That was very interesting to me because, you know, you can go, when you go on a ticket website, which everybody just loves, by the way, it'll tell you how many tickets are left for
There were
sale.
thousands.
2,700?
And last I looked, which was either Thursday afternoon or Friday morning, it was like 2,700 tickets available. And I was just like, I guess everybody's just said,
What is up with that?
yeah.
Well, like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with when they're playing it on TV. A lot of people just rather just stay home and
It could be. But
Don't want-
even,
don't want the
even the student
experience.
section was just one section this time.
Yeah.
Now, there were a few more kids in there than typically. They usually had them spread out a little more, but it was only one section in the student section.
Well, and Boydie McBoyd-face student section showed up relatively.
They did.
yeah.
Boydie McBoyd face. Where'd that come from?
It came from that they had a contest. Name this ship. It was a British
Spending time
like
with
Name
icebreakers.
this ship.
Yeah, and the
with a P.
winning entry was Boydie McBoatface. USS Boydie McBoatface, and the
Folks,
government wouldn't do it.
You could not get this content anywhere else.
Most other places would charge a premium.
Yeah, they
it was
would.
content.
You'd have to pay for this.
Yeah, it's
There was a game. Allen Eagles' first district game of the year against McKinney Boyd. A McKinney Boyd team that was 2-3 on the year, had lost their first 3 games and had won their last 2, including a beatdown of Braswell,
Yeah.
which,
they beat down Braswell.
and
yeah.
Braswell had been beating everybody, averaging 50 points a game.
Yeah.
Am I telling the truth? I might be lying. It's either, I don't remember now.
Somebody's
I
off
hate
their
that,
game.
guys. I am off
We're
my
walking
See, I'm
back
rusty.
that
I'm
premium
just like
content
the
here.
Eagles were the other night. I am off my game. It was either McKinney or it was McKinney.
Our research assistant
You know,
is not.
it's almost
doing their
like
job.
the offensive line had it out for Booty by letting that guy get through the
Oh my
line.
gosh! It's
Number
like,
6 and
hey,
number 8.
Watch this.
Wow. It was Boyd. See, Boyd beat them 42-12.
Which is impressive.
And,
I mean,
and
they're-
if you go back and look, Braswell had scored 40, 38, 69, and 44 until they played Boyd. And so Boyd comes in, feeling a little confident, 1-2 in a row. Their defense, and good, Joe McBride's over there now, and Joe's a good coach. He was at Capel, and he did a good job over there. And they were only giving up 18 points a game. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, 18 points a game. Okay, but who have you played? But then the Braswell thing kind of caught me because Braswell had been averaging, 55 points a game, and they come in and they only score 12. And we found out really quickly in the first quarter, anyways, they do have some athletes on that defense.
Yeah, they do. Those two linebackers are pretty strong.
Well, their defensive coordinator was doing a good
that's-
job
Well,
of.
they had a great game plan. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yep.
They had us off tilt.
And I think the one thing that we all said almost immediately, probably 5 minutes into the game, was there's a lot of rust right here. Mm-hmm. And I've got the, McKinney Boyd got the ball first. They went 14 plays, ended up with a field goal. Defense, and it didn't look good. It was pretty quick for a while, and then they kind of bogged down when they got
About
inside
the
the
30.
40.
Yeah.
And it took them a while. They only got a field goal. Allen gets the ball, 5 plays, punts.
There was a couple of those.
Boyd gets the ball, 6 plays, punts. Allen gets the ball, 4 plays, fumble. Loses the ball. McKinney, he's 4 plays and out. And then Allen finally, with 2 seconds left in the... These times are all messed up. That's not right. They went 10 plays, 77 yards, and scored a touchdown. So at the end of the first quarter, it was
That was
7.
the pass into the end zone, right?
Yeah, that was 2.
And what did I
number 8.
say? What did
Yep.
I say right after that? I said, I think this
did
is
you
the
say?
tide turner here.
The tide turner.
7-3.
Okay.
At the
Yeah,
end.
that was the one to blame. There were
Right.
there were 2 in
Yeah,
the same
in
end zone.
the corner. Then he reached way back
Yeah,
forward.
reached way up over his head. It's a hot pass, and he did a great
And
job.
that's when they just started clicking. They just started moving the ball in.
Yep.
Yep.
That was an OSU. That was
But
a college play right there.
It was still a little bit because McKinney gets the ball back, holds it for 13 plays, ends up punting. Allen gets it back 6 plays, another punt. McKinney 4 plays, Boyd 4 plays and a punt, and then Allen finally gets their second touchdown on 12 plays, 84 yards, and they're up 14-3. McKinney gets a field goal on a 17-play, 91-yard drive.
That's where he tried to take the ball out of the end zone
Yeah.
and got buried right there.
Yeah, so it's 14-6 at halftime, and you're and I guess we have, at least in my mind, I've got memories of how efficient they were against the Atascocita and how inefficient they were here. And you're like, okay, guys, let's see what happens at halftime. But before we get to halftime,
Yeah, the elephant in the room. Yeah.
hang on,
Go for it. Go for it.
We took the kickoff after halftime.
We're gonna
Correct.
we got to do the game, the play
Okay,
before.
but I was
halftime.
wrong about that. Okay, so
Yeah, because we
take that back.
again we won the coin toss, game over. We always say that because
Yeah.
that's typically what happens.
We're spoiled.
The last play of the first half.
How many seconds left?
I went to go to the bathroom and
Like
It ended up being 2. No,
12?
there were
Something like.
no. I think there were 2.
There were not very many seconds left.
Allen gets up and leaves. Allen gets the ball back about the 40-yard line,
Yeah, something like that.
thinking they've got Hail Mary or something. Just try something.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
when
turn
you
the ball
said
over.
they'll give the ball to Jenkins and he'll just
Yeah, I said give the ball to Jordan. Let Jordan do something.
Open field run.
'Cause
Yeah.
Boyd had everybody back.
back.
I'm like, just give it to Jordan. He's very athletic. Let's see if he can make his way. They didn't do that.
Ran a little
Oh,
slant.
no.
They
did
never do
nothing
what I
close
tell
to
them
that.
to.
Tossed a little slant. And what are they running?
Who do they toss the slant to? Let's see if we can
Was,
remember. all
was
this.
that Blaine?
It was Blaine Green.
Number 8, Blaine Green. He's
Blaine
out there,
then
he's out there near the sideline.
and we talked to him after the game. It was supposed to be a hook
confirmed
and
it.
lateral play.
Yeah.
That got blown up.
hook and ladder.
Lateral,
Yeah,
lateral,
same thing.
lateral. Are you gonna be over there and be smart mouth all night?
Yes.
You and your rolling your football. So Blaine, that gets blown up. So Blaine's about to get tackled. So Blaine throws it back to Booty.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lateral. It's good.
Booty's about to get nailed.
And so he
pitches.
tosses it to Teray Green. who then
Takes his
sees
left
the
hand.
writing on the wall
Takes his left hand and throws it
as a forward pass.
as a forward pass.
Which at
Barely.
at the
Just barely.
time nobody knew, and the ball hits the ground, and there's a mad scrum. McKinney Boyd picks it up,
Runs it in.
runs it in for a touchdown,
Yeah. Ref signals touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boyd is happy. They're screaming.
and then the world's
I'm
longest.
just laughing my butt off.
I was too. I was like, man, that bit him in the butt, didn't it?
Oh wow, that was
All right, and here was the quiz. Name one thing that the Allen offense is never going to do again.
You know, all the times we complain about taking a knee, you know,
Oh, yeah.
they may do it. So after a very long discussion with the officials, huddled up with their mask on and everything, standing in the middle of the field, they determined that Teray's left-handed
Lateral was
Whatever that was.
an illegal forward.
was an
pass.
illegal forward pass.
Yeah.
And when you have an illegal forward pass, play's dead. It's over right
It's
then and there.
it's a penalty in that, the half doesn't end on an offensive penalty. It doesn't end on a defensive penalty, but offensive penalty, go in.
So it was very entertaining. It gave us something to chuckle about at halftime. And you missed it, but have you seen it since?
No, what I did was I saw the throw, and where I was standing in the
atrium.
The concourse
the
stairwell.
Buttress.
stairwell, and I saw the throw, and I was like, "That's an incomplete, whatever." And so I went down the stairs, and then I heard this loud roar, and I looked around on the concourse, saw the guy diving in, going into the end zone.
Yeah.
I'm just like, "Good crap."
Yeah.
And it reminded me of this. There was this old guy that was sitting next to me at the game, and after that first half, he says, "I've never had a gallstone, but I think it feels just like this."
Well,
I don't know who that guy was.
You were sitting against around all of us, old man
This
here.
old man here.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at my
Well,
name.
and it's
Yeah.
funny you say that because I looked at James and I said, I'm glad Alan wasn't here to see that because we would never hear the end of it. It was hilarious.
I'd had to edit the sound on my video.
Yeah. One of those plays we'll always remember, silly as it could be. Luckily, it didn't hurt him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Kind of like the big package.
It hurt somebody's pride.
Jumbo against the Skyline.
Was it Skyline or
Yeah, Skyline.
hiked it over Tay Evans' head?
yes.
No, that was
over Christian's
DeSoto.
head.
Christian Sam's head.
Oh, Christian Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tay had taken every snap in the big package in a game
And then they gave it to Christian.
and then they let Christian do it. Yeah, give Christian a chance. Well, but Tejan was such a strong snapper. I mean, come on. As a freshman, the strongest player on the
wasn't
the
it Tejon
BYU
that
team.
snapped it over
He was a strong snapper, all right. It went back to like the 40.
Snapper.
our punter's head in the Lamar game for a touchback?
No,
No, it tastes
he doesn't do
That was
punts.
just a deep
Yeah.
snapper.
It was a deep snapper.
So hey, you go to
Nameless.
halftime. You're up 14-6. I don't know how y'all are feeling. I'm like, well, I hope they.
Well, it's like watching my cat toy with a mouse. It plays around with him and then lets him get loose.
Oh, yum.
And you have to give props to the defense. I mean, again, the first drive, it was, oh my gosh, here we go. And
They drove down.
And Boyd had changed quarterbacks the previous week. Number 15, I don't know if y'all heard me say that. He had been the quarterback and he had an injury. And for whatever reason, he can't play quarterback anymore. So they moved him and he scored 4 touchdowns against Braswell. And they had a lot of misdirection and all sorts of stuff going on. And I think it was causing the defense fits.
Yeah.
But they kept him out of the end zone.
That's
which
a
is-
victory.
Which is the goal.
That's a victory.
You're not going to beat Allen with field goals. And so obviously, as the final score showed, you can't do that. But they were giving them some trouble. And so I was like, okay, defense seems to have figured this out. All right, offense, your turn to step up. Excuse me. Excuse me. Allen gets the ball right out of half. Can't do anything with it. Boyd gets it. Goes down, kicks another field goal. Now it's 14-9. So you're like, okay, enough already. As you said, quit playing with your food.
Yeah,
Which we've
eat
had
the-
this
eat the
discussion a
thing.
lot.
Yeah,
Just swallow it whole and go. And the next drive, touchdown, another punt, and then another touchdown. So at the end of the third quarter, you're up 35-9 now.
Well, and now how quick did they put number 17 in?
He didn't go into the fourth quarter.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought he went in sooner than that.
I think he went in earlier.
Did he?
Third quarter.
Like second possession.
At least
Like
a possession.
Yeah.
Because it gave Booty, because Booty came back in after that.
Jake Wolf.
Jay came in and scored a touchdown.
He threw a touchdown.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, he threw a dart.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
then
one
they
that-
put Booty back in after that.
That's the one when he's our age. He's going to be telling the other people about, yeah, man, when I was.
Yeah, exactly. We got to talk about Bryson's catch.
It was fantastic.
Well,
The one on
snagging
like
out at
the
every-
15
the
or whatever,
hands.
and then ran it.
Yeah, and Booty talked to us after the game about he kind of just threw it up there because it was into triple coverage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Came down with that miracle.
Hands got it, and he came down, and the three of them kind of tackled each other and rolled off
Was
there.
that on the south end zone?
Yeah.
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 And he still had some work to do when he rolled out of there. One, he had to keep his balance.
Right.
He spun out, and his brother actually made the block that sprung him to the end zone. So you love the acrobatics, and you love the strong hands, and you love the I'm going to go get the ball, in a crowd. And you love the fact that Booty had the confidence to throw it into that,
Yeah.
knowing his guy was going to go get it.
Yeah.
Either that or get hit again.
Well,
One of the two. Because, and you
Unabated
bring up
to
a
the
good
quarterback.
point. And kudos to, the offensive line coaches, Big Mike and Bo, because the blitz package was killing those guys. Booty got hit. I thought he was dead in the first quarter because he got hit in the back.
yeah.
And I
A
was
little
like,
blindside action.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, didn't see it coming, didn't feel it. He's got to feel that pressure coming, and he got drilled. And we asked him after the game, we said, which one hurt worse? And he said, the one that came up the middle.
Yeah, because that
Oh
guy
my
fell
gosh,
on him.
that
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
right in his face. Yeah.
That delayed blitz right up the middle just.
Yeah, he said that one hurt. But he said that was on it. But he took responsibility for it and said, that one was on me.
God,
I didn't
should've known
recognize
better.
it quick enough. I
Should've
didn't
read
get
it.
rid of the ball.
Good for him.
And you like that from a guy. You're saying, hey,
Yeah.
I've got to recognize these.
No
these better.
excuses.
You got to
I mean,
recognize the
what
guy
a way to
that's
go
coming
through life.
right
Yeah,
at you.
right up the middle. Yeah. Can you see?
In your face, Homer Simpson.
But the line started doing a good job because Alan and I talked about it. They were only rushing their 3 down linemen, and then they blitzed one of the linebackers. But he delayed every once in a while, and so everybody engaged, and then he'd come. But
Yeah.
they finally started rotating, looking on the backside for somebody coming, or they would slide over,
When is
and that kind of went away. And once that went away, it was church.
It's over.
so I'm curious, because
It can
we
be
saw
that
Big
way.
Mike. We saw Big Mike down on the sideline
Big Mike was on the side
for the game, and
Yeah,
you're
let's put
thinking,
him back up in the booth.
Well, maybe he was down on the sidelines because he needed to take control of that and crack the whip and get some things done. But who knows? I'd be curious. Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe we will.
And a lot of it has to be, all of a sudden, you have 4 weeks off. You're not used to people coming at you
Yeah.
full bore,
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad they've got a lesser
Be careful.
game.
Be careful.
I know, a lesser game. They should have an easy game this week at Little Elm. At the end of the day, that should be a win.
right?
But it gives them a chance to get ready before they got 2 big district foes out there remaining. Now Gamble's going to say one game at a time, which is true, but they've got some heavyweights looming out there, and they'll get another chance to fine tune some things and be in the if everybody stays healthy.
Right.
So that's got to be stress on the coaches. I know we did the golf tournament, and in talking to Coach Gamble, you could almost sense a little bit of I don't want to say anxiety, but they're constantly concerned with taking care of the kids, trying to make sure that they stay segregated. But in the offensive line, got to stagger them through the weight room, got to
Keep it in
stagger them
small
through the
groups.
stagger them through the locker room. There's a lot they've got to do to try and keep them at least when they've got control of them. But then they can't have control of them all the time.
Yep.
And kids are going to do what kids are going to do.
Yeah.
So, congratulations for at least making it one more week.
May have had a talk with the parents. And said,
I would imagine.
You would think there'd be that communication.
yeah,
There's
you
a
would think
lot
so.
of it. The end of the game, 42-9. It ended up being
Good
the
outcome.
spread that it should have been. I think.
Defense
Played
tightened up.
well. Defense
Yep,
only
second
gave
half.
up 274 total yards, so you can't complain about that in a high school game. They only gave up 4 yards a pass, which is very good.
And our
4 yards a
running
rush.
Our running backs had what?
Our running backs had 271 yards on 37 carries, so average 7.3.
They were awesome.
The one thing they were rusty again, I think it was about 8 penalties, which you hate to see.
Legal procedure.
You get that, but 500 total yards.
I mean, our running backs this year. Are just,
You like those guys?
Oh, man.
Hopefully they're making a name for themselves.
And
They deserve it.
Jordan is Jordan, but Jalen Jenkins had himself a nice little game, averaging 19.63 yards
He
per
was
carry.
not going to go down no matter what.
No.
8 carries for $157.
$157.
Good night's work. Jordan averaged 5 yards a carry. Devin Turner averaged 5 yards a carry. We talked after the game, or maybe I don't know when we talked about it, but we talked about having a pretty qualified backup. I think Jake Wolf could start for a lot of teams. I think he's got a big arm. I wonder if he plays baseball, because to me the speed in which he throws balls and how hard he throws them makes me think he might have played baseball. Yeah. But I could be totally wrong.
Kind of like the Cowboys, with Danucci. What is it?
Stop.
Oh, you got nailed.
Stop.
I like our backups.
He's got the running back, fullback build.
Yeah,
but he's not as quick as.
But he's got a great arm, and
I like our backup quarterbacks.
Oh, absolutely.
Something should happen to General. I think we'll be fine. Which is, you always worry about your backup a little bit, but I think Jake is more than capable of doing it. Good to see him get some playing time, and I think this week he'll get a lot of playing time too. So, a big win, 1-0 in district. On to district next week, this Friday night at Little Elm Stadium.
Little Elm, little school, little stadium.
There you go.
There you go. Little stadium.
Little bitty.
Little bitty. But that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't care.
It's nice. It's a nice stadium.
Most people that go are probably going to stay past halftime.
Visitor side's a little small.
Yes. Oh, speaking of halftime.
Mass exodus.
Speaking of halftime, I'm going to give kudos here.
Who are we?
Because I went down and I got some.
Who are you kudoing?
Well, the band came out and I said, I'm going to go get some popcorn. So I walked down and got some popcorn. They did their initial thing, and I guess they did Talonets and Color Guard or whatever. And I don't know if they did Color Guard or not, but I'm walking back upstairs and Anthony Patton grabbed me. So I sit down, and all of a sudden, you hear it. And I was like, I heard Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, conversation stopped.
Yep.
I'm listening to
I'm
this.
watching it. There, you hear the heralding trumpets.
It's like, dude.
Gosh, you are so 1976.
Wasn't it awesome, though? It was cool to hear
It was
that.
good.
I like that. You're like, meh.
No, John Williams is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was different.
So kudos to the Escadrille for picking some cool music.
It was part of the deal. The who was it? Who had the
lightsabers.
They had a deal. You didn't see the video on the screen, did you?
I did not, because I had my back to it, but I've seen it subsequent to that.
Oh, okay.
Because they've got it on YouTube and everywhere else. The
Yeah.
trailer, the intro or whatever. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kudos to the Escadrille, and hopefully we'll get to see that again. Which I think we would. Never
I'm gonna
mind.
sneeze.
Oh, it's like, what's he doing over there?
Trying to be non-COVID.
Yeah, please.
Okay, that just.
So kudos to the Escadrille, and they will not travel this week. So Little Elm, 7:00 Friday night, should be a fun one.
Should be.
Little Elm moving up to, were they were 5A
5A.
last year.
Yeah.
So they're moving up to 6A. They're taking their lumps.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what their record is?
I can look it up
'Cause
real quick if y'all banter for a second.
Hey, I got $1. I bet it's better than all the Plano schools records.
Which they all lost.
Oh, what? Are you
Yeah,
serious?
they all lost.
They did all lose this week, which is awful.
But Plano West had been surging.
Plano
I
West
figured
is
Plano
probably
West
the best of the three.
Yeah. Congratulations to
Yeah.
Plano West. New coach.
But they ended up losing.
They
Well, it's,
are.
only
They were-
district. It's only district play. Come on.
But they remember they were ahead, and we are like, "Wow, Plano West is going to
Yeah.
do it." And then I looked at the final, like, never mind.
Yeah.
They are
They
2
folded
and
like a Rangers team.
2 and 4 actually.
Prosper.
They
2 and 4?
They have beaten Bell, which everybody beats Bell.
Yeah.
And they actually beat Plano West,
Oh, wow.
which is interesting because Plano West has already won 4 games this year.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. They lost to North Forney. They lost to Fossil Ridge. They lost
Yeah,
to
they're in a
Prosper.
crappy old district, though.
Who did West beat? The Northeast Texas School for the Blind?
No, they've actually done pretty well. They beat
Okay.
they lost to Prosper by 10,
Oh,
and then they played Braswell last week and lost by 41.
West.
No, Little M.
Stay with us, man.
God bless you.
Everyone.
It's the COVID, the Rona.
Y'all are
I
crazy.
just got some of that from the plane.
Stop it. So that is next on the list. Just so you, because you're driving me crazy with it. Plano West beat Wiley, North Mesquite, Louisville,
Okay.
Wow.
and they beat Plano East,
Okay. It's a good
and they've
Louisville's
lost to
pretty good.
Coppell
media quality
and
teams.
Little
Yeah.
M. Yeah. Oh goodness, here
Dude.
it goes.
Well, and who beat Coppell? Somebody beat Coppell this last week. Who the heck was that?
No, Coppell beat Plano East.
Oh, they came back and won?
Yeah. So that's Friday night. One other topic. I don't know if y'all looked on YouTube. We had
Just a little bit.
a comment from our last podcast,
What?
Oh,
which I think I want to take some time.
We
to
got a
dis-
comment?
no more dancing?
We did. Well, that was not on the podcast, but that was on the
That was from the moral
chat
police.
board.
Moral police said no more dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's something I thought about. So I didn't give y'all a heads up, and I don't know who this person is, but said would love to see you guys discuss our ongoing quarterback situation. So many critics whining that we continue to openly violate UIL recruiting rules. Alan is Booty's fourth high school in 4 years. His entire family moved here in the spring before anyone could have predicted COVID's impact on high school football in California, which they're not playing football in California this year, or Kansas for that fact.
Right.
I assume his talents, obvious to us now, were not fully evident in his former schools, even when his father and grandfather coached the team. Oh man, it goes on and on and on. Anyhow, he wants us. It'd be nice to hear the learned perspectives of the BEBC. I kind of chuckled at that.
Who wrote that?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't
Your
know
mom?
this person. No, not
What?
my mom.
Some guy.
So
South Lake Carroll fan.
it's not a dilemma to me. I'm just going to throw this. I want to use, this is going to sound a little weird, fiction to kind of explain fact. The way I look at this,
Are you going to do an analogy for us?
I kind of am.
Okay.
And
Analogize.
if you live in Texas
Yeah.
and love high school football and didn't watch Friday Night Lights, you should be banned for life.
Yeah. Okay.
So, if y'all remember Friday Night Lights when it all
The
started,
movie or the
started
TV
out-
series?
The TV series.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jason Street was a quarterback. Jason Street gets paralyzed. Okay. Out. Gone.
Yep.
Matt Saracen, who is not prepared to play, comes in as his backup. And coach
He
works
ain't
with him.
Voodoo Tatum.
That was my next point.
Sorry.
Was Voodoo Tatum shows up as a hurricane,
Relief person. Yeah.
You got
And-
Katrina casualty.
Yeah.
was a Vince Young starter kit
Yeah.
compared to Matt Saracen, who was not. And you
Who
could
was
just
Tucker Carter?
you could see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Except Voodoo had other things in his mind that were not going to allow him to succeed there in Dillon.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, you had a talented individual who, had he had a better attitude and everything, would have played over somebody who was not as talented.
Right.
Right.
Because the object of the game, in my mind anyways, is to win. I mean, football. I mean, you want to win. And you want to put your best talent out there to win. And I don't understand the mentality of an individual saying, well, homegrown kids should get preferential treatment over somebody who transfers in. Because in my mind, when it comes to transfers, that's above my pay grade. Whether somebody is telling the truth on their form, and whether if the coaches sign off on it and everybody signs off on it, I don't care what I know about it, because odds are I don't know anything about it. There's a lot of rumor about stuff.
Right.
Everybody signed off, live with it, and get on down the road. If that person's qualified to play, has more talent than somebody who's in an existing position, to me that's life. It's a life lesson, because that happens.
So what you're saying, life is not fair?
It depends what you find is fair.
We've had
It
that
is,
situation in
yeah.
the past, and we've had good quality kids leave here and go somewhere else because they weren't going to get to play, i.e., Plano East.
or they didn't think they were going to get to play.
Right.
Yeah.
But and I've talked to several kids, or we've talked to several of them in the tailgates, and
Yep.
the kids are really just want to be on the team and contribute in a way they can. It's not like well, I'm not going to get to play, so I quit, or I'm mad. They all love. There's a lot of kids that get to play during the game. They shuffle in people left and right, and we have that ability to because we played real well.
Well, I don't want to interrupt.
So my whole take on the deal is I have no problem with a kid transferring in and he goes out and he wins a starting job. Or he wins a position on the depth chart or has somebody who's been here since kindergarten. Mm-hmm. Because I hate to tell you folks, but that's the way life is. There might be somebody that you're up for a promotion up against in a job situation.
And
you
they
know
just
what?
got hired.
They might be better than you.
Yeah.
My brother tells me all the time, he just got hired by a county. And he says, he's in the ID department. He says, IT department. He goes, I know so much more than the people that have been here 15 years. I should be. And I'm like,
Should is very subjective.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but that happens, and people move in who are more talented than you. And you may be at Ford Middle School, you may have been 1A and 1B. And the next time you roll around, that person might have grown 4 inches and gained 30 pounds and is much more liable to be a starter over you in whatever position it happens.
Well, and let me say a couple of things. Number one,
You can say whatever you want, sir.
this is America.
America.
Hell yeah. So, be in America, and then this is Texas. Texas has the UIL, University Interscholastic League, and a lot of other states have a national association that kind of makes up the rules, and there's a lot of different rules. No hurdling, there's a lot of stuff. We go by the NCAA rules. They're modified for high school,
Right.
but generally go by that. And so the UIL has put down the rules for transfer. If you, as you said, if you get the sign off on the releasing coach, if it's an in-state transfer, that there's no conflict or there's no funny business, whatever it is, it's basically saying, yeah, we're releasing this kid. There's no issues that we want to raise. The kid transfers to a new school. You say, okay, if you're devil's advocate, well, you need to investigate him and make sure there's no dirty deals. You have to accept a kid into the school.
It's a public school.
Because it's a public school.
Yeah.
They have the sign-off form. You come in, there's no issues. So you don't necessarily have to say, okay, we have to justify every person that moves in if they've got the right paperwork. It is to a certain extent an honor system, kind of like life.
Yeah, totally.
And as much as somebody wants to think there's something nefarious out there, there's only so much control that the district, the coaching staff, etc. have. I think all of us are against a coach going out and actively recruiting a player.
Certainly.
If I see, I mean, how many times have we been at a 7-on-7? Hey, we got some new apartments opening up in Allen. I mean, are we recruiting
we're not
or are we
coaching.
making a joke?
How many players have we yelled at? Hey, you want to move to Texas?
I know.
We've done that. Yeah.
And none of them have come.
No,
Dave.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and the bottom line for me is that if you don't want that to happen, because kids and their parents, if they're at a competitive level, like some of the quarterbacks that we've got, some of the other players that we've got, they want to, number one, go to some place where they are valued and wanted,
all right.
where they are going to get playing time, where they're going to get visibility. If you were going to move to Dallas-Fort Worth and you had to pick a school where you were going to get visibility and you were going to be playing for one of the best teams in the state, and you had a choice of where you move, number one, I can afford the house. Number one, I've got a job. Number
Playing
two,
senior high.
it's one of the best, schools that's out there. I mean, you're going to look at South Lake, you're going to look at Duncanville, you're going to look at all the top
Wait,
schools.
Duncanville is all of Dallas, isn't it?
These
Never mind.
days,
Anyways,
yeah.
okay.
Well, these
Continue,
days,
sorry.
well, it's open enrollment. I think the I-30.
Yeah, it is.
I-30 shuttle, but so parents and their kids are going to make a choice. Now, we also have the luxury of not having any skin in the game because we don't have kids involved in the program.
Yep.
But I think the majority of football parents, especially football dads, have a very positive view of their child's abilities.
Oh,
I'm not
Very nicely put.
There's an election tomorrow. That was
I'm not
very
pointing
political.
anybody out. But look, if I'm watching my son, I think he's a star. I think he should be getting more playing time, whatever. And if the coaches have to hear that from a lot of parents.
Every day.
Well, we know of quite a few that's been that way.
But okay, you're an advocate for your kid. I did a video one time for a special teams player, and I was talking to one of the coaches, and he was telling me, "Why are you doing that?" Didn't want to give me. I didn't say didn't want to give me the pass for the field pass so that I could get some video of the kid, down close and get some good angles. But it was just like, "Why are you doing this? It's a waste of time." I said, "Look, I made the point. If you're that kid's father, you're going to do everything in your power to help that kid get a better chance of getting recruited. And if that means you want a video, even if it's just for your vanity, for you to watch later on years, when the kids' playing days are over and you're getting older, and you can watch and nostalgia, let them have it.
Yep.
Don't fight it.
Yeah.
Let them have a highlight video. If one coach, you don't know who's going to see that. That's not necessarily the way it happens these days. But far be it from us to try and be a gateway to say you can't come in here. Or we're an exclusive. We only let homegrown kids play. That's not fair. Equal opportunity, not equal outcome.
And when does homegrown
equal
start?
opportunity. Well, sure.
Do you have to move in
when's the
in
cutoff?
elementary school?
There you go.
Or does it have to be
Middle
junior high?
school?
Or can you be a freshman?
Yeah.
Right.
And I understand everybody's frustration around the Metroplex. When all of a sudden they see General Booty came from California, Allen doesn't. I mean, to me, just as a parent, I've lived here 22 years, whatever. I would love to have homegrown quarterbacks, like quote unquote South Lake, whatever. For whatever reason, we don't have a system that cultivates quarterbacks. However other schools do it, I have no idea. We don't do that. And so, because think about it,
Well,
when was the last quarterback that started for Allen
That came up
lived
through
here?
the system.
That came up through the system,
Yeah, I
through
don't-
ASA
it's
and all that
it's
stuff.
like Nathan Dick,
Yeah,
the Dick brothers.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
because even
Morris.
Morris, they moved in.
Alec
Did they?
Morris.
Yeah.
From what I
I don't
understand,
know
they
what
moved in.
point. Yeah.
I don't know when.
Yeah.
So I understand. I don't know if this is what the person is talking about. I totally understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you want that kid that's been, but like you said, don't you? You owe it to the team to put the best person out there.
Yeah. And I think most kids feel that way as well. And most kids are smart enough to understand. They can see, oh, okay. I remember being that young, and I played football up through the 9th grade, and then I looked around and like everybody was bigger, faster, stronger.
Right.
And I was like, maybe I should stick to basketball because I can play point guard in basketball. I'm pretty quick, and I can, dribble, and it's not such a deficiency where everybody's blowing me up.
Yeah.
As a 140-pound cornerback, it just doesn't work when you're going against 6'2" receivers and you're 5'9". And
Yeah.
And that
But-
would be
go
would be a
ahead.
total morale killer if, I'll just say, John was born in Allen. His mother gave birth on the 50-yard line.
wow,
And he's been here ever since.
right on the eagle.
Right on the Eagle. But somebody moves in their sophomore year, and everybody's wanted John to be the quarterback, and he was good, But then Voodoo, moves in, and Voodoo's a nice guy,
Yep.
so he's not creating off-the-field problems, and he's so much better than John is.
Yep.
Think if you were a member of the team, and the coach is having John start, and he can't get the job done, and everybody's looking around going, this other guy is so much better. I mean, you wouldn't respect the coaches. You wouldn't, I mean.
Well, we got to do a reset because it's like, oh my God, how can we ignore the Matt Brown, Tucker Carter partnership and dynamic? Because that was after the Dicks,
Yep.
After 2006, 2007, 2008 was the championship, and Matt Brown had a run of really bad luck, where he can't finish in the game, has problems. Rowlett was 2007, gets blown up. He was was he a sophomore? Sophomore. So 2006, he's a freshman, goes in as the third quarterback in that Southlake game at Texas Stadium, gets absolutely blown up. I mean, what an opportunity that was. And but then 2007, they go undefeated and get blown out by Rowlett.
Yeah.
And so, 2008, that was going to be the chance. And then at the Coppell game, cracks his collarbone.
Yep.
And they put him in for 2 plays during that Stony Point game, the Round Rock Stony Point. Yeah. And he went down, and it was like, okay, there's no more Matt Brown. And so Tucker Carter's got to come in. Homegrown, coach's son, tough as nails. I mean, just absolutely tough. He got rocked.
Championship game, he got hit in the head so many times.
I know, but the refs are not calling it.
Completed the pass, too.
Refs are not calling, but he stepped up and he rose to the occasion. So okay, homegrown kids. Sometimes it happens. That was a magical story.
And you have the opposite of that too. And we'll bring this up because this is what everybody point. If they're pointing at one thing, they point at Kyler.
Yeah.
Ollie, been waiting his chance to be a starter at quarterback. Yeah. And I don't know how long. They've lived here a long time.
Did he really want to be the quarterback?
I think
he did. Absolutely.
Was that his
dream?
And
if you go back and read there was an article a couple months ago that came
out.
And
there was the video interview too that they did.
And Ollie's like, I was disappointed at first, but I got to go to slot, and there was major disappointment, and they were undefeated until the Coppell game.
Yeah.
We were rolling along, but here's this 15-year-old sophomore that when you look back now, you're like, wow,
no brainer.
Well, and all of our Southlake buddies, who were at the game, said, "Wow, why aren't you starting him?"
Yeah, and he got there, and Ollie had to live through that, and Ollie's turned out fine. He's a coach now. He's working in the school.
He's doing great things,
and so it happens.
He's got a little brother that's a stud.
Oh my God! He needs to teach all the rest of the kids how to tackle because he's doing every tackle. He gets an opportunity.
So it's
impressive.
I understand people who aren't getting transfers, the crying and the whining, and go check them out. They're recruiting, and you know what? There may be people doing that. There may be.
I don't think it's coaches. I think that there are other people.
Not. And there might be other people, but it's not us, and it's not everybody who gets blamed to do it. But I'm like you. I look at it and go, if you're moving to Texas, if you're up in Kansas and they decide we're not playing football this year, and you say, okay, where can we go play football?
Yeah.
And Jake Wolf says, and his family decide, let's move down.
Let's go back to Texas. Yeah,
and Jake Wolf is playing football, and I bet Jake Wolf is having a great time.
Yeah.
Loving his,
hope so.
Glad he's on the football field.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he's not starting, but he's playing. He's getting to play. And
he's having success.
It just happens.
Yeah.
It happens, and it's just like.
Well, and the next thing
come up. There are rules, and you need to follow the rules. And if you're following the rules,
if we weren't following the rules, then we don't want to be here right now.
Right. Don't break the rules and don't recruit in front of us.
Sure.
Because there's going to be a problem if you do that. I mean, seriously.
No, I don't disagree.
Believe me, I think, just an opinion, if Allen was breaking any rules, we would have heard about it
first to be busted.
Because
bring it to the UIL.
If you look around, there have been many teams in the area and many players that have been ruled ineligible.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's not like the UIL isn't doing turning a blind eye to everybody.
Right.
And, I'm sure there's been people who have turned in some of these transfers from Allen.
From Oklahoma.
And there was nothing there.
Yeah.
Because if there's nothing there, you can't do anything.
Right.
Well, and the next thing to come up is, okay, well, Allen's size.
What about Allen's size?
Allen's doing what's best for Allen. we're 3 times as large.
Wah.
Okay. Heard it. 11 people on the field. Why can't we get a DB that's over 6 foot? If we got 6,000
it's just
kids, where the
unfortunate
heck are
the
those
Plano
6 foot-
schools aren't winning because they're just as big, almost.
And where's that 6'8" forward or center?
there's 3
for
of them.
basketball?
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
and that has been my argument ever since we've heard this argument is where are the basketball players?
Yeah.
Because you look around at much smaller schools.
With skyscrapers.
Coach Long out at Denton Geyer, we're talking to you.
I'm sure he's listening.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
When you've got 2 6'8" and a 6'10" on your front line, all playing D1 basketball. I mean, where are those kids? You got 3,000 boys. Where are they at? They're not there. And so a lot of it has to do with your demographic.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, Southlake for their size, they're pretty small, but Southlake has a demographic where you have a lot of professional sports players who live
lineage is going to look just like
There's
them.
lineage, and they can afford to pay for private coaches.
there, and
et cetera, et
a house
cetera.
in Southlake, etc.
Yeah.
Did we determine there's no trailers in Southlake?
We did.
Yeah, okay. Not anymore.
Well, there's one on wheels. It depends on if he's playing or
So
not.
hopefully you got something out of that little discussion that tells you kind of what we think about it. Because I don't worry about transfers because it's going to happen, and it's just like everything else in life. Like there's an election tomorrow, and you know what? When I wake up Wednesday morning, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat breakfast. I'm going to get in my car, and I'm going to go to work. And the results of that election aren't going to change what I have to do on Wednesday.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I voted, and that's all I can do. And you live with the consequences of that. And so if we have transfers come in, everything's legal.
Yeah.
They play ball, and they graduate, and hopefully they move on to bigger and better things. That's what, our goal for all these kids
Yeah.
is they become a productive member of society, no matter what they're doing. Because very few of them are going to be playing
Yeah.
on
Well,
Sundays.
more and more.
I don't know. We've got 7.
I know. We're getting more and more, but not all of them. But that's
Yeah.
it's and that's fun to see.
It's very hard. We got some of them that are on, The Bachelor. I mean, come on.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh,
He's
that's
a card,
right.
isn't he?
Oh,
Yeah, easy.
I watched it. I don't watch that show.
Yeah, I had to.
I'll
Well,
miss- I'll
that
miss
was
that.
that was a train wreck and a half right there. But to quote a head coach, do your job. Do your job.
You know what? I worry about what I can control.
Yeah.
I can't control any of that, and none of us can.
And then I think, Coach Gamble can't either.
And it does.
Whoever walks onto the field at the beginning of the season, that's who he
I
has to
doubt
play
they
with.
would answer this, but I'd be interested to know how many transfers they've turned down. Because doesn't the incoming have to sign off on it too? Don't you have to have both schools sign off on the transfer?
I don't know.
I don't know. I know there's some that
That's-
haven't
In order
and
to
left.
play, I mean,
Yeah.
they can enroll in school.
Well, there was somebody just recently that came from somewhere that decided he couldn't.
There was a quarterback,
I don't think this was a
a
quarterback.
nephew of a famous somebody that lasted about
2 weeks.
2 weeks and
Yeah.
adios. And then we had the greatest
Boomer.
receiver in the world that came from Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and
That's
he
the one I'm
lasted
talking
maybe
about.
1 week because he thought he was going to save Allen
Yeah.
football, and he was
He
like
couldn't
number
hack it.
7 on the depth, whatever.
That's the one I was thinking about.
So it happens.
Yeah.
But I don't. The naysayers and the people who complain,
And
that's on them. I don't worry about them too much.
and really, the stadium, I think, is the
Well,
whole
All of
deal.
it. It's the whole deal. Who wouldn't want to
Attraction.
play in front of 17,000 people in
You know
a
what I mean? I mean,
COVID environment? I mean, at 19, 20,000.
every friend or relative that has ever come to Allen and drives over Exchange
Yep.
and sees that, it's just like, oh my gosh. And so, you're moving to Texas, and all it takes is one drive in the middle of the beginning of the summer over to that stadium in the parking lot, and you look at that facade thing at the front, and you just stand there and just go, oh my gosh. Dad,
Yeah.
I want to
Dad,
play there.
Yep.
let's live on the east side where it's cheap. Don't go over to the west side.
Not the Far East though, because then you end up at
Yeah,
Lovejoy
and that's
That's
where all
right.
you rich people live.
or McKinney. What?
What?
Rich people live on the
Non-
west side.
Non-voters, except
I
for
voted.
Nolan. Except for Nolan, he's like a
I voted
Section 8.
twice.
Who?
He's this. He used to come in here a lot.
Sinead O'Nolan. What?
Is there another member that we don't know about?
Not that I know of. I heard that.
Yeah, there's
That
a
was funny.
sale on whatever.
All right.
Back
We
in
mentioned it
audience.
earlier. There is an election tomorrow. If you haven't voted,
There
go
is.
vote. Do your civil duty.
Are we able to be partisan for the bond?
You can be whatever you want to be.
Well, I
Wait,
think-
you and I can't vote on the bond.
Well, I know. That's why I'm. That's
I do.
why
But
I'm being partisan.
We support Alan in
Every way we possibly
we can. And if you haven't voted for the bond and you want to vote for the bond, vote for the bond. I mean, it obviously will help the school district.
It will.
Absolutely.
And again, you can get all wound up in understanding the discussions I've had with the upper echelon of the school district was communicate, because so many people don't understand how school finance works. And I was one of them.
Right.
But I sat down with them and said, I want to understand. And I actually went and got Jared Patterson, who's our state representative from District 106 which is Little Elm and over there in that area. And I had lunch with him and I said, help me understand this, which he really did. He helped me understand how things work. And when you understand how school finance actually works, and this is at 50,000 feet, not 5,000 feet, but even when you get that knowledge, you can make an informed decision as opposed to an emotional one. Because so many people see that money and go, oh my gosh, my taxes going up, blah, blah. And it's like, understand how school finance works. And once you understand how that and why things cost what they do and why things are needed like they are, then you can make an informed decision. If you still don't want to do it, that's great. I mean, that's your right. Just vote it no. And again, I'm not a citizen of Allen, so I don't have a say in it. But there's a lot of things in the bond package that will help the district.
And the kids. I mean, ultimately, it's the
Yeah.
it's-
And I don't have kids in the district anymore. I did, but I
Yeah.
still voted for it all. And it's a pride thing.
Yeah.
I want Allen to be an exemplary school system from here to eternity. So it's the way it is.
And
I want
it's
them
just
to
like-
have everything they need.
It's just like anything else. It's just like your house. I mean, that is AISD is AISD's house, and you got to take care of your house. Things happen. Maintenance is required. And sometimes it's expensive maintenance, in order to
right.
keep it moving along, It's like you need a new car, you go buy a new car. Well, the district needs new buses. You got to pay for the buses somehow, or whatever it is. The tennis courts need resurfacing.
Or a middle school that hasn't had carpet in 20 years.
Yeah.
Or
Or the
they
middle
need
school that
carpet.
doesn't have a football field like the other two middle schools. Those kids are at a disadvantage.
I mean, the tennis team that won district. Didn't we win district this year?
We did, and
Yes.
we won by district too. And in fact, I think tomorrow they're playing Plano West again. They can't get by Plano West. Let's see if they can do it tomorrow. They're
Yeah,
really
the
good.
cross country took district.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good going on in
Support
the
those
district.
kids.
The bond package is on there. Hopefully, I did see today that Collin County is leading Texas for the most early voting. 69% of all
Wow.
registered voters have already voted.
It's all those Californians that moved.
Yeah.
I just
Let's
keep
hope
that
not.
right there.
Let's hope not.
Toyota.
So, yeah, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go vote. And then Friday night, 7 o'clock in Little Elm Lobo Stadium.
Is that it? Are they Lobos?
They're the Lobos. Yeah, I bet we hear
Traffic will be tough getting over there, so I suggest leave early.
that. You think so?
Yes.
Should
I
we
know.
carpool?
I know
We need to
we're.
carpool.
I've been by that stadium several times.
Yeah,
so.
we'll carpool. David has our tickets, so we're good to go.
Oh, you're the man.
Yes.
Well, I'm the man, but I gave them to him. So, anyway.
He had to have an
Anything
i-
else, fellas?
He had to have an iPhone.
Where are you traveling to this?
Everywhere.
Are you domestic?
San Antonio.
Yeah, and then Sunday I go to Madrid. This will be my last time for quite a while.
Really?
See.
Yeah, they're stopping
Because there's nobody flying.
Paris, Madrid, London.
They got shut down.
Yeah, there's an article in the Dallas Morning News that
Oh, I saw the video of the
1,100
people.
flights they're canceling because
Wow.
Yeah, France.
Don't
and-
know what's going to happen.
It's going to get out of
England.
control again.
Yeah, it's
Domestic is full. All the domestic flights are full.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. Well, because I think they, like let's say Wichita, Kansas used to have 6. Now there's 2.
Oh.
And so they're full.
Yep.
Well, and to get flights full, I just heard Alaska Airlines was offering a full row for the price of one seat.
Wow.
It's like,
Well, safe travels, my friend. Think
Yeah.
about you often.
yeah,
Gracias.
You know,
keep it between the
safe.
lines.
Yeah, keep it in the air or on the ground in one piece.
Well, I can't wait for the 13th
Yes,
13th.
for Geyer.
Geyer.
We don't talk about that. We just
You know,
Are we
Game
playing
up.
them up there?
no, it's at our
Here.
place
Here.
Oh, okay.
all the big games are here this year.
Yay.
in the big house.
Awesome.
Big house.
Exactly. All right, folks, we enjoyed it. Hope you did too. Please leave comments if you have any. If you want anything else for us to discuss, we're more than happy to. Until that, and remember, actually, this Friday's supposed to be
And
nice.
don't go out and riot.
Like
tomorrow night.
Yeah, please don't
Yeah.
do that. 74 degrees Friday.
Yeah.
So it'll be
Low
a
of
little
50 low of
warmer
55,
than
I
it
think.
was last week.
Cashmere sweater weather.
So be a nice, pleasant
Sweater
night
weather.
for football.
Sweater
Watch it on TV if you don't feel like getting out, and wear your
Put it
mask
over your
when you do.
shoulders.
Be a fan.
Until next time, folks, it's over, and we're out.